Welcome to my Welcome to my channel. You young dog, said the man, licking his lips. What fat cheeks you had got. I believe they were fat, though I was at that time undersized for my years and not strong. Darn me if I could not eat him, said the man with a threatening shake of his head. And if I have not half to mind too, I earnestly expressed my hope that he would not and help tighter to the tombstones on which he had put me, partly to keep myself upon it, partly to keep myself from crying. Now looky here, said the man, where are you, mother? There, sir, said I. He started, made a short run, and stopped and looked over his shoulder. There, sir, I timidly explained, also Georgina. That is my mother. Oh, said he, coming back, and is that your father along with your mother? Yes, sir, said I. Him too late of his parish. Him, he muttered, then considering, who do you will with sponsoin? Your kindly let to life, which I have not made up my mind about. My sister, Sir Mrs. Joy Gargery, wife of Joy Gargery, the blacksmith, sir. Blacksmith, said he, and looked down at his legs. After darkly looking at his leg and me several times, he came closer to my tombstone, took me my both arms, and tilted me back as far as he could hold me, so that his eyes looked mostly powerful down into mine, and mine looked most helplessly up into his. Now looky here, he said, the question being whether you are to be led to life. You know what a file is? Yes, sir. And you know that what witless is? Yes, sir. After each question, he tilted me over a little more, so as to give me a greater sense of helplessness and danger. You get me a file, he tilted me again, and you get me witless. He tilted me again. You bring em both to me. He tilted me again, or I'll have you hurt and liver out. He tilted me again. I was dreadfully frightened and so giddy that I clung to him with both hands and said, if you would kindly please to let me keeping upright, sir. Perhaps I should not to be sick, and perhaps I could attend more. He gave me a most tremendous dip and roll, so that he church jumped over its own weathercock. Then he held me by the arms in an upright position on the top of the stones, and went on in these fearful terms: "You bring me tomorrow morning early that file and them witless. You bring the load to me at that old battery over yonder. You do it, and you never dare to say a word or dare to make a sign concerning your having seen such a person as me or any person somewhere, and you shall be led to live. You fail, or you go from my words in any particular, no matter how small it is, and your heart and your liver shall be torn. There is a young man hide with me in comparison with which young man I am an angel. That young man hears the words I speak. That young man has a secret way peculiar to himself of getting at a boy, and at his heart and at his liver. It is in a vain for a boy to attempt to hide himself from that young man. A boy may look his Todd, may be warm in bed, may tuck himself up, may draw the clothes over his head, may think himself comfortable and safe, but that young man will softly creep his way to him and tear him open. I am keeping that young man from harming of you at the present moment. With great difficulty I find it is very hard to hold that young man off. If you're inside now, what do you say? I said that I would get him to the file, and would get him what broken bites of food I could, and I would come to him. as a battery early in the morning. Say a loud strike. You're dead if I did not, said the man. I said so, and he took me down. Now he pushed my. You remember that what you are undertook, and you remember that young man, and you get home. Good night. Good night, sir, I faltered. Much of that, said that, glancing about him over the cold wee flat. I wish I was a frog or a eel. At the same time, he used his shuddering body in both his arms, clasping himself as if to hold himself together, and limped towards the local church wall. As I saw him go, picking his way among the nettles and among the brambles that bound the green mounds, he looked in my young eyes as if he were eluding the hands of the dead people, stretching consciously out of their graves. He get a twist upon his ankle and pipped